What's up, everybody? How y'all doing in podcast land?
Gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, let me tell you something. You know, I keep coming in every podcast. You may see me in every podcast, huh?
That's right. That's right. Welcome to Life Out Loud with QuiQui Symone and friend. And I got my boy BoyWonda with me.
Let's go. You already know what it is, cuz.
You already know.
Flat out.
Oh, my goodness. We don't know. Yeah, we be having a good time up in here. And
Facts.
So I'm excited. I just want to let you know, BoyWonda, I appreciate you for just being here with me and going through this podcast and everything. You know, I think this works good.
It really does. And I listen to our LOL family. We thank you so much.
Yes, we do.
For subscribing and listening to each week. It does our heart good to know that the feedback that we receive, it is all love. And we even received some constructive criticism, which is great for growth. And so we know we shall be going far. You know, that doesn't even sound right. We shall be going far.
We shall.
With this podcast.
Goodbye.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the vision God has given you.
I appreciate you.
And, you know, we're going to make it do what it do.
We're going to make it do what it do,
baby. We're going to
declare
syndication
number
one in
syndicated.
Radio.
That's right.
Facts.
That's right. In podcast land and radio, things of that nature. I'm excited for what God is going to do with it.
Facts.
And again, it's all thanks to the listeners. Thank y'all, like you said, for tuning in every single week. So with that stated, y'all know what we do on here.
Well,
y'all already know how we get
don't
down.
act like you don't know.
Don't act like you don't know now.
You got
don't
amnesia?
even act like you
got
don't know.
amnesia right now? Okay, all right.
That's right. We get to know a little bit about us. Y'all get to know a little bit about us.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Just a tad. Let me ask you this real quick, BoyWonda.
Okay, what's up?
If you could change your name, what would you change it to?
My name will be Denzel Washington.
So you want to be him, or you just want to change your name to him?
My name would be Denzel Washington.
Wow. Okay, he wants the actual name Denzel Washington.
Listen, let me tell you something, huh?
Okay.
I want to be Denzel. I want a wife like Pauletta.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Hey. Nah, I'm just kidding. If I could change my name, what would it be?
What do you think you look like? What, based off of your look, what would you want to call yourself? What would you want to be named?
Girl, honestly, I couldn't even tell you. I'm so comfortable in my skin, you know, I couldn't see myself outside of myself. But, you know,
okay,
when I was younger, man, it's not a hard question, but it's just nothing I really
thought about.
Yeah, I love me. Like,
okay, you love your name.
I do. At first, I did it.
Okay,
you know, my real name is Hey
y'all, I know what his real name is, but I'm not gonna say it. So that's why I asked you if you could change your name, what would it be?
Man, look, I was happy with Junior.
Okay.
I'm a junior, so I'm named after my dad, so you can put two and two together. Maybe if I feel led in my shanana, you may know what my first name is, and it's something that you are familiar with. And
I can give a clue. I can give a clue.
Ice cream.
Sorta, kinda. I could give a better hint.
Don't you? Gosh. I already know where you're going. I already know.
You want me to get a clue, or you want to just leave it at ice cream?
Gosh, just leave it at ice cream.
Okay, we can leave it at ice cream. Okay, so
it don't matter with me, you know.
If I could
How about you though?
If I could change my name, I would name myself Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Yes. When I used to work in California, I had my name tag on, my regular name tag, but people could never say my name right. So I was just like, somebody said, "Oh, you look like that girl in Sparkle." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And so I changed my name tag and put Sparkle on there. And ever since then, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you have such a pretty name."
Oh my God.
And I would just be like, "Thank you." oh my goodness, your mother named you Sparkle? And I wouldn't answer the question. I would just smile, because then I would be lying. But
hey girl, you crazy.
If I could name myself Sparkle, I would, just because I like to light up, people's lives and impact lives and stuff like that.
True that. Yeah. True that.
But anywho, that's getting to know us just a little bit more. One question at a time.
Hey, that's all you get.
So y'all know what we do, right? Y'all know we got what we call the pink elephant.
Oh!
That is the pink elephant.
Oh! Oh!
And the pink elephant, what that stands for, what it represents, is us talking about those things that people like to sweep under the rug, the stuff people don't like to talk about, the pink elephant in the room, stuff people shy away from.
That you don't want to hear.
So we, on this podcast, on the Life Out Loud, we like to talk about real issues, having different perspectives, and potentially give you some solutions too.
Facts.
I think that's a good deal.
That is a great deal.
I think it's a wonderful and delightful deal.
You know what? It is free $99.
It is free.
Free.
At no cost to you. No cost to you whatsoever.
So the pink elephant that is in the room.
What is it?
It's the ability to count.
The ability to count? Y'all, oh my goodness. Tell Denzel. Denzel can act, but Denzel cannot say his words right today.
Listen, no, let me tell you something. I'm a rapper, so I like to give metaphors.
We do not want Denzel as a rapper.
Listen, you have the ability to count.
Okay.
You merge those words together, you know what you get?
What do you get?
You get accountability.
So accountability, y'all.
Accountability is the pink elephant that is in the room.
Yes. We gonna talk about accountability.
Listen.
Oh my goodness. This is super important though, because I think that when it comes to accountability, this is something that people shy away from, not only in talking about it, but just in real life.
That.
Yes, or the lack of having it, the lack of being accountable. And I really think that if more of us really did take the opportunity to be accountable to something or someone, well, I'm going to say someone, to have an accountability partner, which we could talk about later.
Yes.
But if we could have more people to do that, then maybe, we wouldn't have as much tension in the world, as much wrong in relationships, as much, downfalls and pits,
right?
Because we have people that are accountable to us.
And not only see that, but also be that. Also being able to receive.
Yes.
Like receiving is just as important as giving it. Because if you can't receive it, you can't give it. So you can't give what you haven't been receptive to.
That is so true.
Also, accountability, it's a wide range. So it can be in the workplace, it can be in your personal life, it can be amongst your company, it can be just amongst friends, families, relationships. So there's a wide variety and range that we see accountability in places that we should see it, but sometimes we don't.
This is true.
So going back to management consultant Todd Herman, he defined personal accountability as being willing to answer for the outcomes resulting from your choices, your behaviors and actions. When you're personally accountable, you take ownership of situations that you are involved in.
I agree 100%. That is very important. And I say it's very important because, as you just named of what he said, the outcomes resulting from your choices, your behaviors, and your actions, we don't want to be accountable to stuff. Let's just be real. We want to be able to do what we want to do whenever we want to do it. Say what we want to say.
How we want to say
it. Whenever. We want to say it. Exactly. We feel like, and I say we because this is a human being issue. This is not a This is not a class issue like classism or anything like that. This is a human being issue. Many times we don't want accountability
at all.
And we just want to be able to live our life how we feel that we should be able to live it without rules.
Exactly.
Without any boundaries. And I think
parameters.
Without parameters. If we truly lived in a life where there were no boundaries, no parameters, no rules, nothing in place to say, hey, do this, hey, don't do that. What kind of world would we be living in? Like, for real?
A rebellious world.
Like, right, and we already live in one.
We live in one, but there is somewhat some structure and some accountability, not all.
Right,
because as we see what was going on, there is a strong lack of accountability in a lot of places. But like for me, I feel like when you are held accountable, one, you're humbling yourself. 2, it says that you haven't arrived. 3, you're saying, you know what? I have a teachable spirit. I'm willing to learn from it. I'm willing to grow from it. Whether I need to apologize for it, whether I need to really self-evaluate and see what can I do different. How can I make the situation better? How can I show them that I honestly mean that I'm sorry for whatever situation or what happened? So accountability is not only just from the other person, but you have to be, like he said, very, very in tune with being held accountable within yourself.
I agree with that. And let's just kind of like play devil's advocate a little bit here.
All right.
Let's play a little bit of devil's advocate.
Okay.
Because I feel that in my own personal space, I should be able to do whatever I want to do. You know, I don't feel that I should be held be held accountable for other people. I think that in my own little bubble, in my own little world, I should be able to do what I want to do. And I don't think that what I do impacts anybody else around me.
So you think?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? You think so? Because if I'm just in my little own world, like I should be able to just be like, hey, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to say this to her and I'm going to say that to him. And I'm going to go back in my little bubble and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And I say, so you think, because we're going to be in our bubble regardless. But it still doesn't change the fact of how that person feels. It doesn't change the person, how they receive what you giving off, because you, quote unquote, don't care. It is what it is. Blase, blase, blase. You can blatantly cuss somebody out and be okay with it and be like, done. There's no conviction. There's no accountability. So, and people feel like accountability is like being micromanaged. And when you look at it from that perspective, you're going to always be on the uproar. You're going to always feel on the defensive end. You're always going to feel like you're offended. Like every little thing will trigger you because you know you're in the wrong. And you know that ain't right. Whether you've been taught that or not. Like,
you just know it's not right to cut somebody out.
You know. Like, you sometimes you just be rambunctious because you want to, and you just want to say, hey, this is who I am, accept it. If you don't like it, chunk deuces.
And you bring up a good point, because it does impact other people, right? What you say could hurt someone's feelings. It could belittle them. It could tear them down. And if you just go back without having any regard to how they would have received it,
straight dismissed them.
And you're just like, okay, well, I said what I had to say and I'm done with it. I really think sometimes people need to be mindful of, what if somebody did that to you? You know what I'm saying? Somebody, you respected their word. You respected, who they are in your life, and they turn around and did that to you.
They have. Because they want to got to this place of disrespect if they haven't felt like they've gotten disrespected.
You bring up a good point. That's a great point. I think that many times we often do what we don't want people to do to us.
Yeah.
It's easy to dish it out. That's weird.
It's easy to dish it out, but it's hard to take it.
That's very yes, I agree.
It is
I agree.
hard. It's a hard pill to swallow.
I think also that like when it comes to accountability, there's so many different areas that we could be accountable for. So I'm gonna kind of share like what my homeboy had told me at one time when I was living in Jacksonville. He was like, he was getting ready to get married to this girl, and he was like, "Sis, I want you to, I want you to kind of hang out with her, tell me what you think, and stuff like that." And I was like, "Bruh, if you love her, I love her too. Like, that's just what it is." He was like, "No, sis, like, that's not it." I was like, "What you mean that's not it?"
He was wanting accountability.
Yeah, he was wanting accountability. And he was just like, "No, it's important to me that the people who I love the most, one, can get along with her. And then two, that maybe they can see stuff that I don't see."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, I never thought about it, from that perspective." Because I'm like, dude, you a man of God. Like, you got discernment, you got all these things going for you. So I'm thinking, you've taken your time to seek out this young lady and everything. And so he was just like, "No, sis, I need accountability." Facts. And I was like, you know what, bro? I could really, really respect that.
Because, yes, he's a man of God. Keyword, man. Human being. Flaws.
Yes.
Many faults. Still working out his salvation. Man. Before of God.
That's true.
He is a man.
That is true.
He's going to miss some things. He's not going to be able to see everything.
That taught me something in that moment, that he was willing to have accountability. And
that speaks volumes.
That really does speak volumes. And you know what? To play on the other side, me as an individual, from my own personal experience, being that when I was, out doing what I was doing, having my double life, sleeping with whoever I wanted to sleep with and talking to whoever I wanted to talk to, and keeping it from my friends, these are my covenant, quote unquote, my covenant friends, which they are. But
they covenant at your convenience.
Right. They're covenant at my convenience. And I didn't tell them a lot of stuff because I didn't want to be accountable for the stuff I wanted to do. And I knew that I was going to have to hear what they had to say, and I didn't want to hear it.
And this is something that many of us fail to be for one another. Many of us choosing courage and pretty much just say it's okay to just waddle in your mess. It's okay to just, I support you failing. I support you keep busting and hitting your head.
Right.
I support you being on the ground and being at the lowest part of your life. I support you just for you not going in the right direction and doing what you want to do. Yeah, I support that. Of course they're going to support it because they're in the same boat you're in. So they're going to aid on what is on the inside of you that it negates and deflect what is really the issue and who you are. Like, the behavior doesn't define you, but the more that you do it, it will continually define you because you don't want your good evil spoken of.
True. And you bring up a great point, because I do believe that when it comes to accountability, that we are not so, what's the word? We're not afraid of it. That we are receptive. It does bring humility. And I believe that if we don't have those characteristics, it's going to be difficult to even receive any type of accountability, because you don't want to be humble. You don't want to get humbled because you don't want nobody to tell you that your stuff stank.
Nope.
And you also, from the example that you just gave, if I basically come up and say, "Hey, I'm sleeping with 50 million people, but as long as you love me, like, that's all that matters. Just keep supporting me and doing what I'm doing." Like, how crazy does that sound? And I believe that many times and this is so sad to say, that many times people will be more concerned about what you can do for them, what they can get out of you, more so than they are concerned about your soul.
And they look at also, man, look at him. He's in the worst place than I am. And I love that.
Right.
Because it takes the spotlight off of me. So now I get to help you, aid you in your crap and what you got going on, because it takes, all the eyes and everybody looking at me and seeing what I'm doing, and it points and shifts over to this other individual.
And that's so sad, because is that really a friend?
To mirror that. I keep it over there as long as I can.
Is that a real friend though? No. Like at the end of the day, I'm just like, when I see people encouraging people in their sin, it's one thing to encourage you and say, you know what? You can come up out of this, but I'm still here for you. Versus, yeah, keep doing it. Keep going. Yeah, I'm going to support you. I'm your friend.
That's dope.
I'm your friend, and I'm going to support you in your mess. I'm going to continue to support your mess so that you can stay here. And
exactly.
God is not looking for that. He's not looking for someone to be your
cheerleader.
Not in that regards.
Not a
cheerleader in that regards. He wants you to have accountability. Ultimately, we all say, or we have all heard at least once before in our life, only God can judge me. We hear this
all
the time, over and over and over. God knows my heart. So my thing is,
He knows it's deceptive,
exactly,
evil, and wicked.
God knows your heart. So if God knows your heart, that should be something that you should really, really think about, because you're like, man, my heart is deceptive. I got a lot of stuff that's inside of me that I don't even want inside of me because it's not of God. And we tend to continue to feed people little by little. We sometimes we force feed, and sometimes we just give them a spoon because that's what they want. But we keep feeding people with this fake encouragement, this fake support, this fake love. That ain't love.
No,
that's not a real friend. That's not real love. Accountability is love. Accountability is telling you that your stuff stank.
And ain't afraid to call you out on your mess, real raw.
And I just really think sometimes people don't get called out, but when they do get called out, you judging me, or we ain't friends like that really anyway. You know, we don't want correction, and wise man can never grow to become wise without correction.
And they're gonna say the right things to push you away and out of their area.
Yeah.
So they're gonna push those buttons. They're gonna say the right things to make you just be like, you know what, it is. All right, you tripping. I'm gonna pray for you.
Right.
And some folks you have to love and pray. It's kind of hard to pray and love from a distance. It's not, but it is, because they're gonna have to experience this true, genuine love that you have for a person that you say is your friend, and they're gonna have to experience that firsthand.
Yeah.
But you just got to use wisdom and understand and discernment, which is key to accountability.
Yes, it's difficult watching someone go down the wrong path. Knowing that you can say whatever it is that God can give you and they won't receive it. It's difficult being in that position. And I'm sure for parents, it's difficult, because parents are your accountability. They're the ones to tell you, they're the ones that set those boundaries, those parameters and things of that nature. Covenant. And they tell you, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Now, when you get older, some parents find it hard to let go, and they got to let you live. But when you set them up right, they might fall and bump their head.
Train a child in the way they should go.
But they literally, they're giving you accountability. And You just said covenant. Yeah, your covenant friends are gonna say, "Hey, okay, you out at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and what you doing out late? And you got a wife,
Yeah,
you got a husband.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing out that late?
That's just straight disrespect because ain't nothing open that late.
And the issues are in society. We make these things okay. We make it okay because we put out there, oh, that marriage is so bad. For whatever reason, marriage has like a negative stigma on it for a lot of people to say, I don't want to be, that's a ball and chain. I don't want to be balled down or held down because I want to live my life. Yep. And what is so wrong with having simplicity, but you can still be spontaneous. You know what I'm saying? And still have accountability. And I just don't think that people really have that understanding of that.
And they don't because they haven't had the experience. They haven't seen it through their parents. So when you look at mom or when you look at mom and dad split at an early age, then you look at mom and dad was together for 20 years and then they split.
Right.
So it's kind of like, man, if a person can switch up like that, I don't want nothing to do with it.
That's so true.
So honestly, it's really a mentality. It's a mind state of things. And I want marriage.
Right.
I want marriage. Say it with me.
Marriage is a great thing.
I want marriage.
I want marriage. Marriage is a great thing.
It is. It's a great thing with the right person.
Right. With the right person. The right person.
And the only way you'll be able to know that the right person who God has for you is being connected in the vein with God. And tune in, because you will start to see things that are, wow, she's this, she's that, she does this, she does that, and not for what she does for me, as far as the things that she do for me, but it just, she speaks to my spirit. Like, she encourages me, she uplifts me, she cares for my well-being. She's mindful. Right. So it's like these things that implement what a Proverbs 31 is, a virtuous woman. One who is a helpmate. And like, I think that also sometimes we as men forget that we are also helpmates. Like, helpmates goes both ways.
I agree.
So you because it's a team effort.
I agree.
It's a team effort.
100.
One is going to pick up on the end.
1,000,000%.
Yes. The other is going to come right behind. Like, okay, yo, you was there for me when I was like in this season. It's time for me to uphold you. Right. Like, help you get through what you're dealing with. So it's a team effort.
What do you think? Or what does a lack of accountability do for somebody?
Oh my God! Do you want to know how many seeds it plants? it it can create laziness. It can create not being able to have self-discipline, self-control. It creates a I don't care attitude. It creates I can care less who like it or don't. This is me. Accept it. If not,
go somewhere.
The exit is right there.
Kick rocks.
It creates an unrealistic expectation of
my life is good.
Yeah, and that everything is it's like a mirage. You know, like when you see in the desert and you're going crazy because of like a hydration. So you're like, oh my God, look at that pool over there. I'm finna go dump it. And then you run and you jump and you realize you go head first and then your head is going right into the sand. Boom. And now you spitting dirt out because you imagining this what isn't real.
Right.
Like it creates unrealistic expectations of not only yourself, but those who are around you. That want to hold you accountable, that's trying to hold you accountable. But you're telling me that, no, I don't want to be held accountable. I want to stay here. I don't want to have self-control. I don't want to have self-discipline. I don't want to honor nobody around me. I just want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I ain't got to answer to nobody. And that's one of the biggest problems because nobody wants to answer to somebody.
I 100% am in agreement with that, just because whenever we get to a place of a lack of accountability, there's no growth. You can't grow properly. Let me say that. You can't grow properly because if nobody can say anything to you, we can't grow.
Look, we gonna look, and we think being in this space creates independence, but it really creates bondage.
It really does. It really does.
And this place makes independence look like, in this place, it's bondage that makes bondage look like it's independence, and it's not.
And I really think that's really good. That's really good. The more or the lack of accountability that we have, the more bondage we'll stay in, because we can't grow. As I was just stating a moment ago, and you said self-discipline and also self-control. And I posted the other day about self-control, that's something that I strive for. That's one of the fruits of the Spirit that I strive for, because it's one of the hardest, in my opinion, it's one of the hardest to really try to allow God to be Lord over your life in that area, because it can come in so many different fashions and so many different forms.
And hit you at many different times.
Yes, how you can react versus responding. And my goal is to please God. My aim is to please God. So I want to be able to respond and not react. And
exactly,
that is very, very difficult many times for a lot of people. That's very difficult for a lot of people.
And you know what? Let's get into the artist spotlight. And when we come back, another thing that I definitely want us to focus on, and when it comes to accountability, it's not always about what they're not doing right, but it's more so understanding why they're not doing right.
That's real good. So that is really good.
In order to be able to pierce the heart, we have to be very, very intentional.
We do.
And real. And there's a way to do that, and a way to penetrate the heart without being that one person that is feeling like you're micromanaging. You're trying to tell me how to live my life. You're trying to say that, oh, I can't do this because of this. Okay, man, you tripping. Well, what you doing? Where your trash at? So yeah, we're going to get into some more stuff when we come back from the artist spotlight. So today we have the artist spotlight. His name is Philo, and his song is called Live Free, and it's featuring King Allico. I think that this is a great song here. Perfect.
It's really talks about how we really feel like as human beings, how we really feel. So take a listen to the words. King Allico featuring Philo featuring King Allico with Live Free.
I just wanna live free. Free me up, free me up, free me up, yeah. I just wanna live free. Free me up, free me up, free me up, yeah. I just wanna. So what if I don't say a prayer every morning, and I don't feel like going to church every Sunday? Don't wanna love, but I'd rather be lonely. From a window, I feel like my opponent. Today I don't wanna be around anyone. 2 for 1 all day, I might just go get me 1 or 2. Yeah, it's cool. Don't be worried about what I do, yeah. Just to ease my mind for the time. It ain't a crime, but I can't tell you how to live. What you doing in your crib? I gotta work, I don't feel like going in. There's too much work, I don't feel like fighting sin. Testing my strength, right you again. Look where I've been. I just wanna live free. Free me up, free me up, free me up, yeah. I just wanna live free. Free me up, free me up, free me up, yeah. I just wanna. So what if I don't say a prayer every morning, and I don't feel like going to church every Sunday? Don't wanna love, but I'd rather be lonely. From a
Victorious music ain't always what I feel like. Spiritually trying to stop these hunger pains, but somehow I end up in these hunger games. Wanna do right, but I can't, so who's to blame? So I end up taking aim, like forget the names, I shoot them up and bang bang. Life and death lie in the tongue, another brother slain. Went from stable able to dang, got him became Cain. Road to Damascus, saw the Paula, I need you to change names. Cause if you don't promise, I don't see no way I can change things. Still enslaved to my sin, a part of the chain gang. Spirit saying free me, my flesh saying the same, but it's funny how they ain't saying the same thing.
Cause I done been set free. Free me up, free me up, yeah. I done been set free. Free me up, truly free indeed. Yeah, I know His mercies new every morning. Look at the signs of the time He do want it. But God is love and His grace all on me. Say God is love and His grace all on me.
And we are back. That was Philo featuring King Allico with
Philo.
Live Free. I really like that song.
I love that record.
It got a little vibe.
It does. And it was something that I liked toward the end of the video that he quoted. He said, even as a child of God, I've wanted to trade being a slave to righteousness and just live as a slave to my selfish desires. I just wanted to live free.
Wow. And I think that that's many times we take wanting to live free in the wrong context.
We do.
We take it in the wrong context, and therefore we don't want accountability. We believe that free is being able to do what you want to do. But there is so much freedom in Christ. But people put a box on what you can do in Christ. Everybody's stuff may not look the same, but God gives us so much freedom to do things, but we're not tapped in enough to really pull on that.
Receive it and really to tap in and just say, let me understand what this is versus judging it and just writing it off. And another thing also when it comes to accountability, man, like we look at it as living free as kind of like of saying, man, me doing what I want to do, be who I want to be, go where I want to go, answer to nobody is the form of the grass is green on the other side when it truly isn't.
That's very true.
Think about, oh my God. Okay, thank you, Lord. Think about Eve when the enemy approached her and he was like, yo, if you eat this, you'll be more like God. Now, we know that we're free in Christ, but we don't walk in the freedom that is given to us.
Wow.
So we're in the mind state of Eve of thinking that, oh my God, well, if I eat this, then I'll definitely be like God. But God already said, what? You're created in my likeness and my image. So these are the sons and daughters of God, and you would know them by my fruit and how they have love for each other. So when that is not being displayed, now you got Mr. Lucifer here showing you something that is nice and shiny, but you're already free in Christ. But now you're being more prone and geared to the bondage and the fruit that you're buying in.
And the thing is, the crazy part about it is that you are free already, but don't realize it.
Exactly.
Like, you're free to go do whatever it is that God wants you to do, but you don't know it because you're not tapped in with God to know that.
What was that you was telling me off record about? I think it was about the elephant, how with the chain. Was it about the elephant?
The elephant in a chain?
It's like a well, not the chain, but it's just like a collar. I guess they don't notice that this is something that is holding them down, that is around the neck, and they'll just leave it on. I can't remember if it was about the elephant or if it was another animal.
That
they don't realize that they're free, but because they were so used to being bound by the collar and being. That's
a good point, though. I mean, because I think that's what it is. Honestly, I think that's what happens.
I'll go back and research it, but I couldn't remember word for word verbatim because this was probably 5-6 episodes ago.
Okay.
So
yeah, I don't remember. But, y'all, my memory be a little off sometimes.
But I was just thinking about, man, how we're already free in Christ, but want to be enslaved to bondage.
That's kind of from you just saying that with the accountability. It's like a child who grows up with, let's say in a decent home, but for whatever reason, they want to go towards all of the stuff that they shouldn't go towards, and then call themselves, oh, I'm from this, I'm from that, or I'm a part of this, I'm a part of that. And they go towards the thing that they shouldn't, instead of appreciating where they are, where they were, and was free to do whatever they wanted to, whatever God, had for them to do.
Anytime I desire to do good, evil is always present.
This is so true. It's so true. And I even thought about, when we talk about accountability, there's even accountability in banking.
For real.
It's checks and balances.
For real.
You can't just get your piece of plastic and keep swiping and swipe till forever.
No.
It's checks and balances. You even have accountability with your money.
Yeah.
You can't spend what you don't have. You can't spend what you don't have. Now, credit might make you think you can, but
exactly. No, you still got to pay that back.
Yeah. You can't spend what you don't have. So you have accountability even in something that simple. And I really think that we just really need to pay attention more to, okay, if someone is trying to sow something into my life spiritually, why am I not in a place to receive it? Because that's what you were talking about before.
Yes.
Before we went into the artist spotlight. Why am I not able to receive what it is? Why can't that person receive what it is? They're not in a place to. They're not in a place to.
And they're not in a place to where they want to, like an urgency. So they want to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And I look at when it comes to accountability, you realize that eventually you have to come to grips with facing yourself in the mirror.
That's true.
It's your demons that you cannot break free from the demons you enjoy dancing with.
That's very true. You can't say, oh, I'm coming, I'm free and I'm out and I'm doing whatever, when you're still playing with the... God said that he ain't doing no lukewarm stuff.
Nah, he'll spew you out of his mouth.
Hot or cold. Hot or cold. That's just period, point blank.
Ain't no in between. Ain't no gray areas. It's either black or white.
It's black or white. And at the end of the day, many of us just look at it. We make the black and white so rigid, but there's freedom in both. Honestly, there's freedom in both. One is in bondage and the other is not. There's freedom in Christ. So I think that people really don't really recognize that. They just think that accountability is nothing but you can't, don't. And that's what we present to people when we talk about Christianity, is what you can't do.
My God. And the things that you've already done that God is not going to forgive,
right?
Or say. And I want to take a second here, even with when Kanye West pretty much stated like where he was spiritually. God showed me that through this whole ordeal, it showed the state in the mind and the heart of the church. Oh, that ain't real. That's hypocrisy. So I'm like, oh, well. So Jesus said that you're the only one that he can save.
Right.
So this is what you're telling me.
Right.
And now you got people who've been in the faith walking away like they ain't never knew God. And you got those who
want to come in.
God. And honestly, some are past of want to come in. They're already in. And being the very thing that they were supposed to do, but because everybody wants to be upon this stage and they're so infatuated with the fame and the lights, like, nah, accountability. It's the things that people don't see behind the scenes that aren't really glorified, like that aren't really glorious, that aren't all nilly-willy feel good.
I agree. Christianity is like that too. God never promised us an easy walk.
No.
He just said he will walk with us.
Through the valley low.
And you bring up Kanye, and it really disturbed me so bad when he said, hey, I want to come and do this. This is the heart that he had. And he got so much backlash from believers who were just like, oh, he ain't a real Christian. Oh, he gonna go back. Oh, he gonna do this. But let's just be honest about it. Like,
Look at all the backlash he received, and he's still standing firm.
And now all these posts that people was putting on, Kanye ain't real, Kanye this, Kanye that. None of us know what's in that man's heart. No, none of us know. But
Only
if he
God
was
knows.
struggling and trying to get there, you're not making it easier for him to get there. So think about the stuff that's in your heart that people don't know, because he has a platform. You have a smaller platform, but you still have a platform. So what are you saying with your platform to the few people that follow you? What are you saying to those individuals? Exactly. Like, oh, he's just done so much stuff that he can't come. But we preach that you can come as you are.
And the only reason they're allowed to say this because he's living life as a public figure. So he doesn't get the chance to make the mistakes behind closed doors, to where cameras and blogs and everybody else is not on that. Right. To where he doesn't have the freedom or the liberty to be able to really be human.
We need people accountable. I wish we could say for Christians on social media, I wish we could say that we could have accountability for that, because we really do need some, because some of us believers of Jesus Christ, we ain't showing the right type of love towards people, and then
in general.
Yeah, and then we wonder why nobody wants to be a believer, because we ain't even showing that we love ourselves, because we so divided. But that's neither here nor there.
So what do you think scares people from accountability?
What scares people from accountability? I think I'm going to use your words. I think I'm going to use your words.
It wasn't me.
You have to face you at the end of the day. You have to face you. And sometimes that's a scary thing. Sometimes people don't want to look in the mirror to say, I don't have it together. And I need help. I don't know what to do. And because of that, we just opt to not have any discipline, just do whatever we want to do.
And I'll even take it one step further, and they feel that they're hopeless in the sense of because they're so deep in. A realness is also just like they want to do right. It's just like going to the gym. I want to lose weight, but I gotta have.
Oh, you talking to me? Ouch! Ouch!
No, I'm talking to myself.
You talking to me?
Listen, before I came here, I looked in that mirror. I'm like, whoa, this shirt is making me look really good right now. But when I sit down, it's a different story.
Right, me too.
So I'm like, like this gives me motivation to be like, yo, I got to get this right.
Right.
I got to be like, Craig, get back right. I got to get back right.
Right.
So and it just takes discipline. And this quarantine has, to be honest with you, has took every bit of discipline I've had when it came to working out. I started back walking again.
Oh my gosh. I started back last week.
Journaling back. Yeah.
I started back last week. I ain't even gonna front. I started back last week. I failed completely after I got sick the end of last year. But I just really think at the end of the day, accountability is needed for every person.
Everybody.
From a child
no one is exempt.
All the way to an adult. We all need accountability to help us. We can't make the choices for people, but we can be a real covenant friend, a real covenant family member, a real covenant whatever, business partner, to say, hey, this is what you're doing, and I see that you're doing this is not right. Like, and I know that we're kind of ending the show. I wanted to give this example as well, and I challenge people. I'm going to challenge somebody. This might hit home for you. This might not hit home for you. Right. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to think about this. A scenario. Husband and wife are together. Husband cheats. Friend, accountability partner, finds out. Does he tell the wife or does he keep it to himself? Does he tell his friend or does he keep it to himself? A real accountability partner is going to say, hey, bro, I saw what you did. This is not right. You need to get this right with your wife. And if I see it again, I'm going to go to your wife and tell her because this is not fair to her or this is not fair to him. That is true accountability because you are accountable to God for the right thing and not to that individual.
And God will allow certain situations and circumstances for you to see. Like, man, I seen this. I didn't like that. So let me approach you. And like, if you got to off with your brother,
you go to him.
Closed doors, go to him, let him know how you feel. But it's not just about letting you know how you feel, but it's what's right, what is factual. Right. Along with how you feel.
Right.
Because I look at, if you don't say anything, then you're condoning it. And then God is going to have an issue and a problem with that because, well, I've allowed you the opportunity to see that because I know you have leverage. I know you have influence. So you either going to talk him off the ledge or he's just going to continue doing what he's going to do. And then that be the end of that.
Don't be complicit in behavior that's not of God.
At all.
Don't be complicit with it.
And trust me, I've dealt with this for years.
It happens so much.
For years and seeing stuff, and I'm like,
it really.
I'm so uncomfortable.
Y'all want to let y'all know the enemy is real, okay? Let's be clear. He ain't no play. Like he ain't. None of us are a match for him. The only person that's a match for him is God. So be mindful. Don't even entertain. Whatever you entertain is gonna grow. Whatever you entertain is gonna grow.
Listen,
don't be complicit with anything.
What we said off record. Don't put anything in front of you that you don't want in you.
That's so true. Y'all heard that. I hope y'all did.
Don't put in front of you what you don't want within you.
That's good.
Your eye gates, your ear gates. Like, you have to protect that. Even through the place of accountability. If they're not listening and if they just, doing what they're doing, you know what? Obtain your peace. Protect your peace. Pray from a distance. Check in here and there. But for the most part, don't forget to show love.
Amen. I think that's a great note to end on.
Like, how will they know that you are the sons and daughters of God? Is by your love that you have for one another.
That is so true. By love and kindness have I drawn thee.
Love can drive out hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
That's what it is. So thank y'all for listening to this episode. We hope that we said something that will encourage, that will motivate, that will uplift you, even your friends, whoever it is. We want to thank you guys for listening to the podcast, to the Life Out Loud podcast with QuiQui Symone and BoyWonda here. So what we want to do is make sure that you guys are subscribed to the podcast. Please. That is LOL with QuiQui Symone on YouTube. You can follow me on IG and Facebook. That's QuiQui Symone, QuiQui You can also follow our brand new IG page, which is Life Out Loud with QuiQui Symone.
Facts.
And then we got BoyWonda. Go ahead and give them your handles.
Okay, I'm gonna give them my handles. I'm gonna cross you over like my name is Iverson. Come over here as I part the Red Sea. I don't want you to drown. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, official BoyWonda. That's official, like a ref with a whistle. BWONDA. Hey. Yeah, I gotta say it like that because it's official. It's BWONDA. Of course, Twitter, Instagram. And then on Facebook, it's official BoyWonda. BOYWONDA. Hey, make sure you go to nogrindnoglory.net,
That's right. That's right.
And guess what? I'm dropping a new single, Kiki.
We got a new single coming.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's it's going down,
Well, we can't wait to hear it. Maybe we can play that on the podcast too.
I can't wait to share it.
That's right. Well, y'all, thank y'all once again for listening to the Life Out Loud with QuiQui Symone and friend BoyWonda. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, and we out.
Salute.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. she be